Hello everyone, Mary Morning here, and today's video is all about how to see auras the easy way. So, I should explain what an aura is, first of all. It's an energy field that you can see around a person's body. It's usually a little bigger around the head, but all around the body. And I want to talk about what is the easiest way to see them. So, what you want to do is find a family member or a friend who is willing to sort of volunteer for you to be able to practice. So, put them in front of a white wall. You can actually see auras easily in front of a white wall or in front of a black wall. And that's kind of a personal thing. I find white walls are easier for me. So, have somebody stand in front of a white wall. And you're going to look and sort of stare at the top of their head, right up here. Not right directly at them, but up here. And it's kind of like those old posters that you would stare at and then they sort of, an image would appear. So you want to do that. You want to stare but not focus. So, look up here, and that is the first place you're going to see it. First, you're going to see sort of a white outline around people's body. And the way you're going to know that it actually is an aura and you're not just seeing a reflection or a shadow or whatever you want to sort of think that it is that it will move. So ask your willing participant to sort of think of something that is really happy to them and see if the aura will grow. And as they move, it'll sort of change around. So that's sort of the easiest way. Make sure that you use sort of a dim light, not ultra bright. It doesn't need to be dark, but just sort of dusk, I suppose. And try that. And the easiest way to see colors is usually up by the head. So you'll first start to see a color. You'll see the white band around people, and then you'll start to see a color, usually up on top of the crown first, and then sometimes down over the shoulders. Now, I'm just talking about from personal experience of what I see, because some people can see that colors very clearly even without having a white background, and they can just see it in a room. So this is all personal. Some people, that is their, sort of gift, is to be able to see the colors really clearly and all over the body. I'm not one of those. I can see them very clearly, for sure, but I have to actually try to see them. I don't see them automatically. But when I try to see them, and it's really interesting because you get colors. So depending on what the color is the way the person is feeling, maybe what they're going through. There can be a color on this side that's different from what that's on this side. Yeah, I see a lot of purple, I see a lot of green on people, pink, those kind of colors. So yeah, if you see somebody with a dark aura, that just means that they're going through a really hard time. They could be really angry. They could even have a health issue if they have a dark aura. So you can see that, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're a bad person. I think it's that they're going through a hard time right then. Because auras change colors. Now you can go and get a photograph taken of your aura with a special photography, and I do have a picture here the last time I went, so that might be neat to show that. So here is my aura photography. So you can see I've got magenta on one side, and I've got blue and magenta on the other side. And then this is really interesting in the middle here where you see a rainbow and kind of up here as well, I guess. The rainbow means that it's clear. So ordinarily it will always be clear, sort of right around the edge of the body, but usually in here you see a color. So he said that was kind of unusual. And he said it has to do with people that are highly spiritual, or people that meditate, people that are healers. It just means that you're able to connect to spirit a little more easily if you have a clear aura. But I think magenta means love and spirituality. I think the blue stands for expression of thought. So I found that really interesting. Really enjoyed doing that, and you know, I'll wait a year or so and maybe go and do it again and see if it's any different, you know, the next time around. The only other thing I want to mention about auras is that you can see them on inanimate objects as well. The auras do not move on, you can see it around, like say, a table against a wall, you know, a picture on a wall, all of that sort of thing. But they won't move, and they look like a very bright white. You can see them around trees, and the auras around trees will move. That tells you something. The trees are alive. They have energy. And what's interesting is that you see an aura, if you see a group of trees, you'll see the auras all sort of blend together, which I find really interesting. That happens with a crowd too. A crowd of people that are in a room. You'll see all the auras sort of expand and blend together, which is really neat to see a crowd like that, especially when people are really interested in whatever topic somebody's talking about. So they sort of expand. But I should mention with auras, you know, that's sort of something you can do to protect yourself. Usually people that are very spiritual, very open, very giving, their auras are really large. So if you can actually work on trying to bring your aura in a little closer, if you're an empath especially, you won't be taking in everything constantly. So if you can work on that, you know, using your bubble, imagining your bubble, and keeping your aura within that smaller frame is a way to not get so overwhelmed when you go out in large crowds. It's a type of shielding. As far as that, I think that's it. Now, as a child, I used to always see my aura. I'd sit in class, and I'd sort of play with, like I could see the light around my hand, and I could play with it and kind of move it around and that. And I remember my teacher getting angry at me, like saying that I wasn't paying attention, but I was really paying attention, but not to her. I was paying attention to my own world. But for a long time, I didn't think I could even see auras, but I realized as I got older, I needed to work at it a little bit. I needed to have people, you know, stand against a background so that I could see it. It's not easy for me to just see it in a crowded room. Like if somebody were standing, you know, in front of this shelf, I would have a hard time seeing it. But if they went and stood in front of a wall that is just a plain color, you know, a light gray, a white, a beige, I'd be able to see it. So, and especially the longer you can sort of be able to stare at that person, the easier it is to see it. And then it starts to move, and then you start to really see the colors, especially around the head and the shoulders. Sometimes all the way down the body as well. So give it a try at home. See if somebody would be a willing participant. Even a pet would work. Pets have auras. You can see them. So yeah, give it a try at home. Let me know how it goes. Leave a comment and tell me if that practice worked. Thanks. See you next time.